Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back to some more My Hat Switch Doesn't Work. Flight Sim World. Yes. Crying out loud, it's such an annoying feature, especially when I do that and it goes back. Oh well, never mind. We'll just have to live with it until they fix it. Right, actually, that was a needed. It was needed because where the hell is it? Am I actually on the runway? Yes, I'm on the runway. All right, so we are headed up to, believe it or not, Newcastle. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I'm crying out loud. Really, it doesn't work out here either. Damn it! Fix my hat switch, because that's really irritating. Okay, so that all works. That works. Okay. All right. So that all works. Fantastic. So I guess we'll just get on with it, shall we? The clouds look nice now, I gotta say. So there's, you know, the news from Dovetail. I mean, there's not a great deal going on per se. Oh, whoops! I should actually have started trimming out for 2,000 feet already. Oops. My bad. So, news from Dovetail. There really isn't much. You know, they're working on the weather systems. They're working on bringing in more dynamicness to the weather. Is that a word? Dynamicness? Dynaminosity? Dynamicism? They're working on making the weather more dynamic. They're heading towards real world weather, but it's going to take a little while to get there, you know. We've got to give them a chance. Whey! That was one heck of a breeze. That kind of feels like I'm losing some altitude as well. I'm going to trim up a little bit. Yeah, that was a bit of a judder. I think I was changing weather region. If I did, we'll see some of this, some of these clouds change over time. So yeah, that's one of the things they're working on. They're working with True Sky to get the weather systems functioning. They're also working with the IFR stuff now, which is no small feat because it means they actually have to update all the nav aids throughout the entire sim. You know, they have to get those up to scratch because if we want to do the whole real world thing, they've got to update all that information, which is, you know, that's not an easy thing to do, especially when you consider that, you know, what they're working on was made quite a while ago. But I'm sure there's a very well documented, I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm sure if that there's a you know, an app that they can use to import the appropriate information from the various different sources around the world. And then once they've got the IFR stuff, once they've got the NavAid stuff and all that information updated, they can work on the IFR. And once they've got the IFR done, well, possibilities. They're still developing out the jet, the little business jet that they're working on. Everyone's still trying to make guesses as to what it might potentially be. Personally, I don't care as long as it's a jet. But it does mean, if they're bringing in a jet, it does mean they have been working on the jet systems. Because I remember when they first started talking about the project, they said that, you know, the base aerodynamics had been tweaked a little bit, right? So they were a little more realistic for the propeller aircraft and for the wings and the flight surfaces and stuff like that. They also said that, you know, they are revamping the helicopter side of things. So helicopters will be a lot more interesting to fly. And they also kind of hinted that they were working on jet systems as well, so we could expect to see some more interesting jet engine simulation, which would be really cool, I think. But one of the features that they have been playing with recently is one that they actually dropped into the beta branch, because it's not ready. You know, it's still being developed. It's still got lots of bugs. It's not ready for public consumption. Wait, is that the right word? I'm sure it works. Yeah, it's not quite ready for public consumption, so it's in its own little area. It's away from the version of Flight Sim that we can, or Flight Sim World that we see here. It's in its own beta branch, and you can, you know, if you go to the Dovetail forums, you can get or actually I think they posted a note about it in Steam as well. You can get access to career mode, which is a fantastic idea. When I played Flight Sim, when I played FSX, I had FS Passengers installed and a couple of other things, and one of them was a career thing, and you know, you could log flight hours, you could make money, and as you did so, you upgraded your aircraft, and you know, as you upgraded your aircraft, you could carry more cargo, which meant you could make more money, blah 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 blah. And it seems like they are working towards that same kind of deal. They're looking at doing a career mode, which will give us access to, you know, we can basically a way of doing roleplay, if you want to put it that way, you know, or for other less nerdy people, a player progression system. So you can start with a little cub, and then you can work your way up. You can earn money, and you can earn hours, and you can earn reputation for your company, and you can, you know, you can build up. So it's something they're developing, and I hope that they really work on it, because it would be definitely a very unique selling feature for the sim itself. Because it's often something that I get questioned about, right? People see me playing Flight Sim and they're like, "Ah, that looks like a lot of fun. You know, what do you do?" "Well, you fly aircraft." "Ah, okay, cool, that's great. Well, you know, what's the point?" And that's where you lose them. There is no point. You just climb in an aircraft and you fly from point A to point B, and that's it. Bingo, done. That. And you know, they're like, "Oh, so that's all you do?" Yeah, you don't fly around, you don't shoot people down, there's no player progression, there's no ultimate goal in it all. I mean, the goal is to be able to take off from where you started and land where you want to, you know, without crashing. But with the whole career mode, you bring in this exciting new aspect to the whole thing. It's not just a simulator, it's now, you know, it's a game as well. So for those people who want to play it as a game, the career mode gives them the opportunity to. It gives them a reason to get into an aircraft and take off, because they have to deliver cargo, you know, and if they don't deliver cargo, they can't earn money. And if they can't earn money, it means they won't be able to upgrade their aircraft. And it gives an entirely new aspect to the whole thing. And like I said, it gives a point. When somebody asks me now, what's the point? I now actually can turn around and say, well, if I do this well, and I do it properly, and I do it enough times, I can buy a better aircraft, which allows me to upgrade. Which is brilliant. I mean, you know, I can turn around to these people and say, what's the point? And say, that's the point. I'm really excited. When they announced it, I was actually very excited. And then when I just watched the live stream, and Chris was talking about, you know, how it's currently developing at the moment, and you've got this, you know, it's in its infancy, I guess is the best word for it. It's in its infancy at the moment. But, you know, as it develops, we'll see, I guess we'll see ratings come in, how well you fly, you know, if you break too many laws. You know, maintenance costs, fuel costs, stuff like that. That's all going to come in. Oh dear, looks like there's some flooding down there. Look at that. You know, yeah, that will all come in. That will be great. And then if you could hire employees as well into your little thingy, maybe. I don't know. That might be asking a bit too much, because that wouldn't even be. So what do you think about the idea of a career mode in a flight simulator? Do you think it's a good idea, a bad idea? Do you think it would actually bring in more players? Because, you know, more players means more revenue for everybody involved, and, you know, if a simulator is making money, then there's more likely to be more content developed for it. So, you know, it's a good argument. But yeah, and what kind of features would you like to see in a career mode? We're about a third of the way there, and I've just now realized that I did a clean install of Flight Sim World not long ago, and I actually forgot to adjust the graphics. So the graphics are on whatever the default settings is. Problem. So we're flying over some cliffs though. Whoops, wrong way. There we go. It's going to be really interesting when the SDK gets out there for the terrain. I get some really nice terrain scenery updates. I know that's something on their hit list as well, so I'm not overly worried about it at the moment. I mean, it's fine. It's vanilla. It looks no better or worse than any other vanilla simulator. So I'm fine with it. Scarborough was reportedly founded around 966 AD by Viking raiders, although there is no actual archaeological evidence to support these claims. In the 4th century, there had briefly been a Roman signal station on the Scarborough headland, and there is evidence of much earlier Stone Age and Bronze Age settlements in the area. The area remained feudal until King Henry II built a large stone castle on the headlands and granted the town charters in 1155. Edward II granted Scarborough Castle to his favourite, Piers Gaveston. The castle was subsequently besieged by forces led by the barons Percy, Warren, Clifford, and Pembroke. Gaveston was captured and taken to Oxford, and then to Warwick Castle for execution. In 1318, the entire town was pretty much burnt to the ground by the Scots under Sir James Douglas, followed by the capture of Berwick upon Tweed. Scarborough and its castle changed hands several times between the Royalists and the Parliamentarians during the English Civil War in the 1840s. 2 lengthy, violent sieges ensued, and much of the town lay in ruins. In 1926, Elizabeth Farrow discovered a stream of acidic water running from one of the cliffs to the south of the town. This gave birth to the Scarborough Spa. In 1660, Dr. Wicks published a book about the spa which attracted a flood of visitors to the town. Scarborough Spa became one of Britain's first seaside resorts. The Grand Hotel was completed in 1867, and it was one of the largest hotels in the world at the time, and one of the first giant purpose-built hotels in Europe. 4 towers represent the seasons, 12 floors representing the months, and 52 chimneys representing the weeks, and originally 365 bedrooms representing the days of the year. A blue plaque outside marks where the novelist Anne Bronte died in 1849. Weather's changed a little bit. Yeah, it seems to have become slightly overcast, or at least foggy. It's part of this dynamic weather system that they have going for us. It's not bad. I mean, it's not dynamic. I mean, it's dynamic as you fly through it. But if you're not flying, then it doesn't change, if you know what I mean. But I think it's safe to say that it actually works. What the hell is that? That's another cub or something. Whoa! Hello. Damn. It's a bit blustery up here. I gained some altitude. Holy crap. That's some updraft. The first recorded settlement in what is now Newcastle was Pons Alius, a Roman fort and bridge across the River Tyne. It was given the family name of the Roman Emperor Hadrian, who founded it in the 2nd century AD. This rare honour suggests that Hadrian actually visited the site and instituted the bridge on his tour of Britain. After the Roman departure from Britain completed in 410, Newcastle became part of the powerful Anglo-Saxon kingdom of Northumbria and was known throughout its period as Monkchester. Because of its strategic position, Robert Curthouse, son of William the Conqueror, erected a wooden castle there in the year 1080. The town was henceforth known as Novum Castellum, or Newcastle. The wooden structure was replaced by a stone castle in 1087. The castle was rebuilt again in 1172 during the reign of Henry II. Much of the keep, which can be seen in the city today, dates from this period. From 1530, a royal act restricted all shipments of coal from Tyneside to Newcastle quayside, giving a monopoly in the coal trade to a cartel of Newcastle burghers known as the Hostmen. This monopoly, which lasted for a considerable time, helped Newcastle prosper and developed into a major town. The phrase "taking coals to Newcastle" was first recorded contextually in 1538. The phrase itself means a pointless pursuit. In the 18th century, the American entrepreneur Timothy Dexter, regarded as an eccentric, defied this idiom. He was persuaded to sail a shipment of coal to Newcastle by merchants plotting to ruin him. However, his shipment arrived at the time during the strike that had crippled the local production, and unexpectedly he made a considerable profit. Right, well, with all that useless information out of the way, I guess I should probably think about landing this thing, huh? Since there's an airport there. Yay! So, alright, the first steps to landing is to slow down. Right? I believe that's what they are. Why my flaps button is not working again? Ow, my controls are reset. Fantastic. Whoa, that was a little bit violent of the old flappy flaps there. Okay. I'm not using the pedals today. I actually have them disconnected. They were causing issues with other games, so I just unhooked them. So I'm just using the old pistol grip on the stick here. So there we go. Yeah, it does mean that my differential brakes won't be working, but that's fine. I never used them in the first place because they didn't work initially, and I got used to not using them. If that makes sense. Whatever. Okay, bring it around. Come on. Little bit to the right, so that's fine. We can just correct a little bit. We got plenty of time. No need to rush. When you panic, that is generally when things go horribly, horribly wrong. So I'm dropping a little too fast, so I'm going to apply some power. I'm not going to pull back on the stick too much. I'm going to adjust my descent rate with the power. So there we go. Now I can bring it down a bit. Pull back on the stick ever so slightly, just to correct this descent rate a little bit. And of course I'm still to the right. I can never quite line up on the runway properly, but we got plenty of time, so I'm going to cut the throttle altogether. Apply a little bit of throttle. It was a little soon there. I always forget how slow this thing is. Alright, throttle to idle. And then just try and hold her off the runway a little bit. Whoopsie. There we go. Lovely. Alright, that'll do. Whatever. So, we landed, mostly safely. Could have done without him pulling out in front of me, but that's fine. So yes, an hour and a half flight. So we're in Newcastle. We've still got a long way to go. We've still got a long way to go. We are, I can turn that off now. Where are we? No, I want to look at the flight planner actually. So, that's what we did. That was where we just went, and now we've got all of this to do. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to cut around here, and we'll come across and down. And we'll come around this way. Around this way. Yeah, so we're about, what are we, about a quarter of the way? Oh, geez. I thought we were further than that, actually. But, yeah, it looks like we're about a quarter of the way. From here to here. Here to here. Yeah, so we're about a quarter of the way. That's not terrible. Anyway, that's it for today. Oh God, what am I going to do next? It's where's my next big runway? Or where's my next runway, in fact? Edinburgh. Damn. So I guess my next one is Newcastle to Edinburgh. And we'll come out and we'll follow the coast around. And we'll land at Edinburgh. But that's next time. And remember, if you've enjoyed this, don't forget to lean in and caress that like button for me. And subscribe for more weird and strange content. And until next time, I will see you anon.